Hey class, so in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to do scientific notation. So, what is scientific notation? Scientific notation is used to write really large numbers or really small numbers in a shorter way rather than writing all those zeros. So, there are three components to scientific notation, and the first part is I'm circling here, and that's called the coefficient. The second part is the base, and it's always 10. And the third part is called the exponent, which is symbolized with a y here. I didn't use an x because there's always a times in the middle. Let's learn about scientific notation here. Okay, so numbers 10 and larger always have a positive exponent. So you can see that for the first one, 890, you see that this is not between 1 and 10. So you have to rewrite the number so the coefficient is between 1 and 10. So you wouldn't write the 0 because there's no dot anywhere in the number. If there were a period anywhere in the number, then the 0 would be significant too. So anyway, it's 8.9 times 10. And you have to figure out from this spot, you have to get the period back to its original location, which is right there. That's where the dot would be. So you have to go to the right twice to get to that location. So that would be a positive 2. So let's try another one. We see 3372.0. So again, this number is not between 1 and 10, so you have to rewrite it. And then this time you have to include the 0 because the 0 is trailing, but there's a decimal point in the number. So where do we put the dot to make it between 1 and 10? Between the two 3's. And so now you have to move from that spot back to its original location. 1, 2, 3. 3 times to the right. So it's positive 3. 3.3720 times 10 to the third. So now we have this number 428 million. So why don't you try doing this one and see how you do. Okay, so we put the dot between the 4 and the 2, 4.28. We don't include all the zeros because those aren't significant. There's no dot anywhere in the number, so you don't include those zeros. Times 10. Now you can figure out getting it back to its original location. Here's the original location. Here's where we put the dot. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 10 to the 8th. And that's how you do exponents with a very large number. So anything larger than 10. Always positive. Okay, so now you have numbers that are smaller than 1. Those ones have a negative exponent. So again, you look at this first one, 0.3900. Rewrite it so it's 3.900. Again, you have to include these zeros because there's a dot somewhere in the number. Times 10, and you have to get it back to its original location. So in this case, you're going to move it to the left one time. So that's negative 1. On the next one, again, you see that this number is not between 1 and 10, so you have to rewrite it. You don't write any zeros because there's nothing after the 7 here. And you have to put the dot to make this number between 1 and 10. So you put the dot right there between the 5 and the 1. 5.17 times 10. And you figure out from that position to get it back to its original location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 6 because you're moving it to the left. 5.17 times 10 to the negative 6. Okay, last one. 0.006310. So why don't you pause the video and try this one. Okay, so now that you've tried it, you can put the dot right between the 6 and the 3 because that makes it between 1 and 10. You have to include that 0 because there's a dot somewhere in the number, so the trailing zeros are significant. As you see, when there's a 0 in scientific notation, you know that it's significant because that's the beauty of scientific notation. Every digit that you see as a coefficient is actually significant. So now you have to move the dot back to its original location, and that's 3 to the left. So the answer is 6.310 times 10 to the negative 3. Okay, last examples here. Numbers 1 or greater but less than 10 always have an exponent of 0. So you see that this number is already between 1 and 10, 3.94. So you just put a 0 on it. It doesn't seem like this would be a more efficient way to write this number, but on the quiz there may be one that's like this. So you just have to recognize, oh, okay, it's already between 1 and 10. I don't really need to change anything. I'm just going to add 10 to the 0 to it. So please go ahead and try this next one. You can pause the video. Okay, so now that you've tried it, here's the answer. Because it's already between 1 and 10, you just rewrite it, and you write 10 to the 0 on it. Okay? That's a 0. Now, try a few examples on your own. Okay, the first one is 0.0037. So you put the dot between 3 and 7, and then you have to move it backwards 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Negative 4. And that's how you do the first example here. Go ahead and try the second one. This one, you put the dot between the 8 and the 3. You don't put any of the zeros there because none of these are significant. There's no dot anywhere in the number. 8.31 times 10 to the, and I have to move it to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8.31 times 10 to the 6th. Go ahead and try the last one. Okay, and you notice it's already between 1 and 10. So you just make it 10 to the 0. So in the next section here, I'm going to show you how to write standard notation from scientific notation. So in this first problem, you can see that the exponent is positive, so you know that you have to move the decimal point to the right. And it says 3 times. So we're going to move it 1, 2, 3. 3, 0, 6, 0. And notice because the 0 is not included here, we don't put a dot at the end right there. It's just without the dot, 3060. In the next one, you can see the exponent is negative, so you're going to move it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.00005250. Notice that 0 is written, so you have to write it here at the end. And we can check it to make sure we've done it correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to the left. And that's right. Okay, you go ahead and try the last one by yourself. See that the exponent is a positive 8. Okay, now that you've tried it, we're going to move it 8 times to the right. 1, 2, and then with 6 more times, right? So 6 zeros on the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So 7, 1, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more zeros. We can check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you're doing the quiz, make sure you don't have the squiggles on your final answer, of course. Now, the third kind of question involves correcting scientific notation that is incorrect. So you can see here that 803 is not between 1 and 10, but it looks like scientific notation kind of, right? It has the base and it has the exponent. So the easiest way to do this is you ignore the circled part first. Just do 803. Okay? So you put the dot, so it makes it between 1 and 10, 8.03, and then move it back to its original location. So it's 8.03 times 10 to the second. And now you take this new exponent that you have and add it to the original exponent that you had before. So it's 2 plus 4. So it's 8.03 times 10 to the 6th. I think this is the easiest way to convert incorrect scientific notation to correct scientific notation. So you can try, I'm going to show you how to do this one. So I'm going to show you how to do the next one as well, and then there's 3 ones to try next by yourself. So I'm going to ignore this part that I'm circling, and I'm going to just do the part here that I'm underlining, okay? Just like I've had you do previously, that I've just gone over previously. So you write 5280, put the dot between the 5 and the 2 to make it between 1 and 10, and you have to move it back to its original location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. 5.280 times 10 to the negative 5. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take that new exponent and add it to its original exponent. Negative 5 plus negative 1 is negative 6. So the answer is 5.280 times 10 to the negative 6. Okay, so now we're going to try 3 of these on your own. Go ahead and try number 1. Okay, so ignore this part. 7.4 times 10 to the positive 3, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to add the exponents. 3 plus 3 is 0. So it's 7.4. 7.4 times 10 to the 0. Go ahead and try the second one. Again, ignore this part right here. 9.32. And move it back 3 spots. 9.32 times 10 to the negative 3. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add the negative 3 to the negative 8, and that makes it negative 11. But the coefficient stays the same. Okay, last one. Try to do the last one correctly. Okay, so again we ignore the exponent. 6.1 times 10 back 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. You're going to add your negative 4 to 2, and that's going to be a negative 2. And you keep the exponent the same, and now you're done. That's how you'd fix incorrect scientific notation. So in this video, I've shown you how to write standard notation into scientific notation, how to write scientific notation into standard notation, and how to fix incorrect scientific notation to make it look the way it's supposed to. Thanks. Have a good day.